So hi everyone. In this section, I will explain you how to publish our web app services to Azure APIM. Okay. In our previous videos, I already explained you how to create API management and how to add policies for each API in the API management. If you don't watch those videos, let's just go and have a look on that so that you will have a good understanding on these videos. Okay, fine. So for this purpose, uh, I'll quick have a recap on this. So this is the APIM that I have created. So this is the echo. This is the echo API, which is by default it will come with the API management itself. So here we have different operations, and earlier we have added few policies. For example, we have added a rate limit by key policy. Okay, we'll just hide this. So I quickly created a simple web API, .NET Core web API, which has a two request. Just for the time saving purpose, I just created it for you with a HTTP get. Both are HTTP get with the route get one and get two. So in the request, if you try to hit the get one, we'll just manipulating some data. In the same way, this is for get two. We are manipulating the data. So I just let me run in the local first. So I just created a Swagger definition for this. So once you run the local, so type Swagger, hit enter. So you'll get a Swagger definition by default for this. So I'll show you first in the local by executing it. So you can see this, there it goes. So no authorization is required. I just removed it for time being. So just try it out and click execute. This is the get one, and you can see the response 200 OK, as well as the response is get data from action one. Okay, in the same way, if you try to hit the get second request, second action method, try it out and execute. I just kept a debugger, sorry. Just continue, scroll down, you got get data from the action 2. Let me publish this web API to the app service that we created in our previous sessions. This is the app service that I created in our previous sessions. If you remember, I explained you all these terms in my previous sessions. You can watch them. So I want to quickly publish this from the Visual Studio itself. Right click, publish. So click on new. I, I want to do it as quick as possible. So first I'll download the publish profile from the Azure portal. Okay, download the publish profile of this web app. Okay, once it is downloaded, so it is downloaded, go back, browse it, go to download session, open. So just finish it. So internally there will be a password and the resource group, everything will be taken. So just click on publish. So it will ensure your code is deployed to the right app service. You can see the app service name here, Srikanth test, and this is a web deploy one. Just the deploy one is the name that has given to it. So checking if the application will run successful. First the build will start. Once the build is succeeded, then only the publish will start. Once even the publish is succeeded, the app service will restart. I explained all these things step by step in my previous videos. If you don't watch them, just go and have a look on it so that you will have a better understanding in these videos. Okay, so let it publish. So till then, what I want to explain you is like, uh, let's publish this to the app service. I want to import the Swagger definition URL of this app service to the APIM. I'll show you how it works, and also we'll try to execute those from the APIM as well as Postman. Both will try to execute in the both ways. Okay. Okay, if you see publish succeeded and one succeeded, you can see that the restart of the web app. Once the web app is restarted, I want to close this application. No more it is needed. Okay, fine. I guess no more it is needed. We'll close this application. Okay. Once if you go here, just browse the app, browse this web app. Let's check if our action methods has updated here or not. Just type Swagger. hit on enter. So you can see that, oh okay, that's good. So you can see the two action method that I have given here, that we got here. Just click on try, let's test this. That's fine, you got 200, okay, with some data that we have given. Now I want to import this API, import this Swagger definition to our Azure App Services. This is a real world scenario. Let's say you are developing some web application in your projects. So there are n number of APIs here. You cannot manually go and add each API with this add operation. Am I correct? You cannot manually add API, and for each API you cannot add operations manually. So for this we have an option in the Azure APIM. So just go back to Swagger, click on this, you will get the Swagger definition. Just copy the Swagger definition from the URL, go back to Azure API Management Service, okay, click on Add API. Once you click on Add API, there is an option for Open API Definition. Click on this. You can import your API in n number of ways. You can use the WSDL file, you can use WADL files, you can even use logic apps. You can also create from app service directly, even from Azure function. We can do this, but I want to move it as quick as possible, so I'm using it Open API Definition. So here in the Open API Definition, the URL that we copied from the Swagger app service, so just paste it here. You see this. Once it is accepted, you can give a name to this. So here it is Echo API. If you see here, it is Echo API. In the same way, we'll give some display name here. Okay, click on the API. This is fine. So, so here the main purpose of this API management is, it will hide the background URL. It will hide my server URL or web app service URL. See, this is the actual web app service URL, right? This is our server URL, or else the backend URL. So this will not going to expose to our to the end user or the front end applications. Okay, this is the one that is going to be exposed. Fine. Okay, just click on create, leave everything as is. So if your Swagger definition is valid, if your URL is valid, then it will automatically creates the app for you below this Echo API. Okay, it will take some time to update, no worries. Yeah, meanwhile I'll tell you, like in the upcoming series I will explain you what are products and how to use developer portal efficiently for the development purpose of these APIs. Okay, fine. Now you can see my Srikanth API has been added here. You can see that the two action methods which we published it from the web application, right? In the real world scenario, you can have as many as API endpoints that you can, but here I'm taking the simple two examples. Just click any one of that. Uh, Click on the test. Before that, in the design, I'm not going to explain you about inbound policies and outbound policies here. In the previous session I already explained you everything, how to add it from directly from the portal or using from the using XML way. Okay, so here if you see the backend, this is the actual backend URL of our app service. Fine. So you just keep remember, this is our actual backend URL, Srikanth test.azurewebsites.net. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm stressing on that. So if you scroll down, just send it, send a request. Oh, you got the data. Again send the request, you got the data, right? So this is the get to method. So I want to tell you, see this, just copy the URL in here. I'll try to execute it from the postman. Click on get. Okay, that's it. No params are required, no body is required. Click on send. Access denied, 401 access denied. Okay, I think the subscription is required here. If you scroll down, go back to settings. I think we have enabled the subscription here. That is the reason why it is okay. Just uncheck the subscription, save it. This everything will be in the settings. Okay, fine. Once it is updated, go back to the postman, click on send again. Here it goes, you got the data. So earlier it was denied because of the 401 unauthorized, because we have added a subscription there. Even this is a simple way to add a authentication in this way. So just click on again. Fine. Instead of get to, just give get one here in the URL and click on send. You got action method one. So in the simple, I'll tell you, you can see the access URL here. This is the one you are going to give it to your customers or your front end application. Okay. If you go back, scroll up. So this is the one, this is the URL that you are going to give it to your customers or the front end application to use developers. Okay. This is the actual backend URL that is being used by your web application, right? So in this way, what we are achieving is, so you are hiding the backend URL, you are just sharing your APIM URL, so that it simply says that your actual URL is protected by APIM. Okay, you will even get the data by using this Swagger definition also. I'll tell you. See, go to the Swagger definition. This is our actual web application Swagger. Okay, just copy this, go back, see, copy and paste it. There is no authentication for now, so you'll get the data, but we are not going to expose these to the end users. Instead of that, control Z, you are exposing the APIM URL. In this way, you can directly say that your backend service is backend service URL is protected. Okay, fine. So we used Swagger definition, Open API Swagger definition, to import the Swagger to our Azure APIM, right? Click on, go to the design. You can see there are two APIs in the API. You can even add the policies, I already explained. So this is the backend URL, and you can go to the settings. You can directly, in the quick way, you can add a subscription so that you will get a 401 unauthorized. You need to pass the subscription fee key for that. Okay. Revisions, you can make the revisions. Revisions are nothing but, you can make a duplicate copy of that. Once you make a duplicate copy of that, just perform some development on that. Once your changes are good and the development is good, you can make that revision active. Let's say i'm I'm creating a revision. I'll explain you how it works. So once you create a revision, so currently by default revision is active. Okay, see, the default revision is active. So end users are using this, but the one which is online is the one you are using for the development. Once you say that everything is working fine, your changes are working fine, just click on this and make current and save it. So the end users of the front end application, now they are able to use the latest APIM or APIs. In this way, quickly you can switch between the versioning. If you say like again the from production issues are got, and your latest changes are not working properly, you can make the previous version as a current. So in this way, you can quickly switch between the versionings, so that there won't be any downtime for even for the front end applications. It quickly switches the versions. Fine. So this is the way that we can add the operations. There are many ways. You can even use GraphQL. I will explain you all these in the next videos, in the upcoming videos. So just subscribe to my channel and hit a bell icon, so that you will. I'm going to uh, explain the Azure resources and how to communicate with them. So you'll get the notifications if you subscribe. That's it. So in the upcoming series, I am going to explain you what are products, and how to use developer portal efficiently to use this API as well as the products. Okay. If you have any comments, leave it in the chat box. I'll definitely respond to you back.